Hello everyone and welcome to another Java tutorial. Today we will talk again about the abstract classes and abstract interfaces. This is the part 2 and the lesson 37. So let's dive in. Let's continue our example. Today let's see lesson 37. We will update it here and then we will just dive in and create another class, and we will create a class bird. The class bird is pretty abstract, don't you think? Because you can have a sparrow, you can have a penguin, a chicken, everything that you call a bird. So let's make it abstract. If we make the bird class abstract, then can we extend the animal? As you can see, we can do that. We do add a constructor, and that's it. But what's with the abstract methods? We do extend animal. We don't need to implement them because this bird class is also abstract, and every abstract class is allowed to have a parent abstract class. So let's make something different here. Let's make a method fly. So public abstract void fly. As you can see, it works just fine. And now we can create another class. Let's name it sparrow. And this sparrow will extend the bird. Now we add the constructor, and as you can see, it says that we need to add the unimplemented methods. But the bird has only the fly. Why do we need to implement the eat and the breathe to the sparrow? That's because the bird extends the animal. And the animal has two abstract classes, the eat and the breathe. So the sparrow, if you think about the hierarchy, it needs to implement all three of them. So we'll say I can fly. Here we can say and the last one. Up. Now it's correct. And as you can see, we can still use the getName method that we created inside the first abstract class, the animal. And this is how you in Java, you can write really less lines of code. This is the object-oriented programming, and this is how powerful it is. So we can also create another class now, and we will name it chicken. And the chicken extends bird. Now we add the constructor, now we add the methods, but the poor chicken can't fly. I can't fly. Here you can see set name, it's, and here also get name breathes. So we have our classes ready, and now we can create as you can see, we just do the same routine every time, but maybe it's time to see another aspect of how to use this fly. For example, this fly method, because I want to use chickens. I want to use not chickens. I want to create other birds like chicken, because it belongs into this category. But I don't want to implement the fly abstract method. It's unnecessary lines of code. So how can I do this? Let's try to create an interface, and we will name it can fly. So, and then we will say this is an abstract interface, and inside the abstract interface you can create abstract methods. Let's create, for example, abstract void fly, and you have it. Let's see now. If you go back, we can leave our bird without this abstract method, and the bird will not be abstract anymore. It will be just a bird. And then the chicken doesn't need these extra lines of code. But if we have a sparrow, and if we have a sparrow and we want to implement this fly interface, how can we do that? Well, you just implements can fly, and now you got it. This was it, and you spared so many lines of code to other classes. You can also do that to a bird, for example. Let's say it is not a bird, it is something else that can fly, like a bat. But I'm too lazy now to create another bats class. So as you can see, if we implement the can fly, then we need to add the fly method. So as you can see, you can save a tone, you can save tons of lines of code using this method. And of course, if we go to the main and we create a sparrow, for example, say you can see the fly method is there, and if we run it, it says I can fly. Or even better, we can still use the get name because it extends bird, and bird still extends animal. So let's try it again. Oh, Tweety, I can fly. Shit. Where are you, sparrow? Here. Let's see. Tweety can fly. So this is really the power of object-oriented programming. And let's see now some main differences between abstract classes and interfaces, and when to use that, when to use what. So abstract classes are similar to abstract interfaces. They can contain both abstract and non-abstract methods. With abstract classes, we can declare fields that are not static and final, and define public, protected, and private methods. An abstract class can extend only one parent class, but it can implement multiple interfaces. When an abstract class is subclassed, another class extends it, then all its abstract methods need to be implemented from the subclass. I will also paste it for you, and let's, so that we have everything here. So that you can read them. You can also read them if you want. When to use an abstract class, we want to do. You can use an abstract class when we want to define a base class that multiple derived classes can share. When we want to share the code among closely related classes, as we did in this example. As you see, these classes are really close related. They are all animals, and then you need an abstract class. Let's see here. You can also have these notes. So an interface is just the declaration of methods of a class. So an interface is just the declaration of methods of a class. It's not the implementation. A class can implement more than one interfaces. All methods in interfaces are automatically public and abstract. An interface can extend another interface. They are also more flexible. You can see it as a plugin thinking, because you can use them only when you want. If you remember, with the abstract classes, if you extend the abstract class, you need to override the method. But it's not the case when using interfaces, because an interface can have, for example, only one method, and you can use it to the classes that need to have this particular method. It's really like a plug-in, plug-out. Since Java 8 interface can contain also default methods, which are methods with implementation, since Java 9, an interface can also contain private methods. And now comes the question, when should I use the interfaces? Use the interfaces when you expect that unrelated classes will implement your interface. Like our example, specify the behavior of a data type, or separate a different behavior like fly in our case. Use the collection API, use the JDBC API, use the Java patterns. The three last examples, we will talk about all of them in later lessons, and they are all really important in Java. So this was it for today. I hope that you enjoyed the lesson, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them on the comment section below, or feel free to send me a message. Thank you all for watching.